The greatest trick the global elite ever pulled was convincing the world that wealth is something you display rather than something you control. Society has conditioned the modern middle class to think like permanent consumers. You are taught that to become successful, you must acquire the visible symbols of success: the luxury car loan, the heavily branded clothing, the expensive watch, and the loud lifestyle. You burn your daily energy and your precious liquidity just to buy an identity from a corporation. But to the top 0.1% of global society, this entire ecosystem is just a highly profitable simulation designed to keep the masses mentally poor, financially dependent, and perpetually distracted. True wealth is not a collection of physical objects. True wealth is an architecture of the mind. In this final chapter of our series, we deconstruct the core psychology of the invisible elite and how to permanently reprogram your mindset from loud consumption to absolute, quiet power. The matrix of validation. The first and most powerful law of the stealth wealth mindset is the total eradication of the need for validation. Most people operate within a fragile psychological framework where their self-worth is determined entirely by external perception. They buy things they don't need, with money they don't have, to impress people they don't even like. They are trapped in a loop of loud luxury, seeking public applause to mask an internal insecurity. A billionaire operates in complete psychological isolation from the crowd. When you possess the net worth to shape industries, the opinion of a stranger on the street or a follower on social media becomes completely irrelevant to your survival. The elite define their success entirely by autonomy and leverage. They do not seek to be envied. They seek to be unbothered. They understand that public attention is a vector for vulnerability. It brings noise, envy, and legal liability. By disconnecting your ego from the need for public display, you instantly plug a massive drain on your capital and your focus. You stop bleeding liquidity for public applause, and you start accumulating real asymmetric power in the dark corridors of the world. The 100-year generational rule. To understand how deep this psychological programming goes, we must examine how the invisible elite train their bloodlines. This is governed by what old money dynasties call the 100-year rule. While the newly rich focus on teaching their children how to spend money or flex status symbols, the old elite focus entirely on emotional discipline and historical perspective. From early childhood, heirs of these hidden fortunes are taught that the family name is a ghost. They are actively trained to understand that their wealth belongs to a long generational chain, not to their personal ego. They are educated in private institutions where the uniform is plain, and showing off material excess is treated as a severe social failure. They are taught that privacy is the absolute security perimeter of the family estate. By suppressing the natural human desire to brag, they preserve the concentration of their wealth. They build an invisible wall around their lineage, ensuring that while individual members pass away, the corporate architecture and the sovereign autonomy of the family remain untouched for over a century. Assets over egos. The second law of the 0.1% mindset is the permanent prioritization of invisible assets over visible liabilities. To the middle class, money is simply a tool for immediate consumption. It is cash to be traded for a physical product or a temporary experience. To the new rich, money is a scoreboard, a desperate tool to prove to the world that they have finally arrived. To the old elite, money is a living organism. It is a seed designed to be planted, cultivated, and multiplied to secure the sovereignty of their bloodline for generations. When a billionaire looks at capital, they think exclusively in terms of asymmetric leverage and permanent yield. They do not buy a sports car that loses 30% of its value the moment it leaves the dealership. They buy the equity in the company that manufactures the car. They don't buy the loud designer bag. They acquire shares in the multi-billion-dollar luxury conglomerate that profits from the middle-class trap. Loud luxury feeds the ego, but starves the asset sheet. Stealth wealth starves the ego completely, but builds an unassailable empire below the surface of the earth. The elite don't own items to look rich. They own assets to remain eternally free. The sovereign mindset. This brings us to the ultimate secret of the 0.1%. The sovereign mindset. The average person views the world through the lens of a passive participant. They follow the rules laid out by society, buy the brands marketed directly to them, and seek security in transparent public systems. They are completely visible and easily managed by the corporate structures above them. The invisible elite do not participate in the system. They build the system. They operate from a baseline of total sovereignty. To them, the ultimate luxury of life on this planet is not material abundance. It is the absolute ownership of their own time, their own privacy, and their own destiny. They use secret banks to shield their capital, stealth real estate to protect their families, and social camouflage to preserve their freedom. They don't want your validation, your applause, or your envy. They only want one thing: absolute, unyielding autonomy. Once you realize that the truest form of power is completely silent, your entire relationship with money changes forever. You stop looking at what people are showing you, and you start looking at what they are hiding. You stop screaming, and you learn how to whisper. The matrix of loud luxury was built to keep you running on a treadmill that has no finish line. The true elite left that treadmill centuries ago. They move in the shadows. They operate in complete silence. And true luxury cannot be bought in a store. It is possessed right now, in the very way you choose to think. This concludes our first month of uncovering the hidden world of the invisible elite. If you have watched these chapters, your eyes are now open. But understanding the game is not the same as mastering it. Next month, we move from observation to architecture. We will dismantle the real-world infrastructure in the secret bloodlines of land, the art invisibility trap, the corporate ghosts, and the silent gatekeepers. We expose the final layer of the hierarchy. If you are ready to stop observing and start building your own architecture, subscribe immediately. The next phase begins now. Stay focused.